Hello and welcome back to Behavior Change Basics, an introduction to social marketing. We've been following a 12-step process to develop a social marketing campaign, and today we're kicking off stage 4, where we talk about implementing and evaluating your program. In this video, we're covering step 9, implementation. Up to this point, you've been doing all the planning and strategizing. Now it's time to roll up your sleeves and put that plan into action. But it's not just about doing things right, it's about doing the right things. Let's take a moment to consider doing things right versus doing the right things. Imagine this. You've created a fantastic Facebook campaign, only to realize your target audience is all 18-year-olds who wouldn't touch Facebook with a 10-foot pole. Oops, you did everything right, but you didn't do the right things. That's why you need a solid implementation plan. This plan should cover the who, what, when, where, and how of your program. In other words, you need to know who is responsible for each task, what needs to be done, when it needs to happen, where it's all going down, how it's going to get done without causing a meltdown. First, consider the case for why you need a project management tool. Yes, you do. To keep things on track, we highly recommend using a project management tool. And no, I don't mean scribbling tasks on sticky notes and hoping for the best. There are plenty of free options, like Google Sheets, Microsoft Planner, ClickUp, and Trello, all great choices for keeping your team organized without spending a dime. And no, we don't get a commission for mentioning these, unfortunately. Here's a tip. Choose a tool that suits your team's style. If they love checklists, go with something simple. If they're spreadsheet wizards, Google Sheets might be the way to go. The point is to keep everyone moving in the same direction. When it comes to starting your social marketing program, you might remind your team, Rome wasn't built in a day. Trying to launch everything at once is a bit like trying to drink from a fire hose. Overwhelming. That's where phasing comes in. Here are a few ways to phase in your program. 1. Pilot testing. Start with one segment or location. If it works, scale up. For example, test a recycling program in one neighborhood before going citywide. 2. Market segments. Launch with one target audience first. For example, promote flu vaccines first to seniors, then to parents of young children. 3. Geographic locations. Roll out city by city. For example, offer bike sharing in downtown first, then expand to the suburbs. 4. Distribution channels. Start small, then expand. For example, distribute free condoms at clinics first, then expand to universities and bars. 5. Communication channels. Begin with word of mouth, then move to social media. 6. Messages. Start with one core message, then add others. For example, promote reusable bags first to reduce waste, then to save money, appealing to different audiences. Canadian grocery stores phased out plastic bags pretty brilliantly. They started by giving out free reusable bags for every $10 spent. Once people got used to it, they started charging for plastic bags. The result? Less plastic waste, and more people carrying their own bags. A phased pricing strategy at its finest. Prompts are a great tool to help implementation. They're the friendly nudge you didn't know you needed. Prompts are those little reminders that help people do the right thing without feeling like they're getting nagged. Think of them as the sticky notes of social marketing. Prompts aren't meant to change attitudes or motivations. They're just gentle nudges to remind people to do what they already want to do. For example, a sign on a grocery store door that says, "Did you remember your reusable bags?" is a great prompt. If that sign were at the checkout instead, it would be about as helpful as an umbrella in a hurricane. Too little, too late. By reminding people as they enter the store, shoppers can run back to the car if needed, without holding up the checkout line or leaving their full cart in the middle of an aisle. Here are some tips for effective prompts. Make them noticeable. If they blend into the background, they're useless. Bright, fun signs at eye level are a great way to get your message across. Be self-explanatory. The prompt should tell people what to do, not make them scratch their heads. In Toronto, blue bin lids clearly show what goes in and what doesn't. No more guessing games. Location, location, location. Put prompts right where and when they're needed. You wouldn't place a reminder to turn off the lights across the room from the light switch. In Vancouver, TransLink uses prompts on buses to remind riders to give up their seats for seniors and those with disabilities. Simple, well-located, and effective. And the final tip on prompting is, stay positive. Frame prompts around what people should do, not what they shouldn't. In Banff National Park, prompts remind visitors to stay on trails to protect delicate alpine plants. No guilt trips, just positive, gentle reminders. Now back to our road crew case study. Yes, the trusty road crew program, a masterclass in smart implementation. Here are a few of their key implementation strategies. Pilot testing. They started small, testing in a few locations before scaling up. Effective prompts. They used coasters and bars with their phone number. Perfect timing and placement. They also placed signs in washrooms at bars and taverns. Another perfect location. The result? People didn't just remember the road crew, they actually used it. Key takeaways for successful implementation. Have a plan. The who, what, when, where, and how. Phase it in. Start small, test, then scale up. Use prompts. Make them visible, simple, and positive. Stay flexible. Adapt based on what's working and what's not. Focus on behavior change. Fancy marketing is nice, but if it doesn't lead to action, it's just window dressing. Thanks for watching. In our next video, we'll dive into steps 10 and 11. Monitor and evaluate. How to track your progress and figure out what's working and what's not. It will help you keep things moving in the right direction. Until then, keep phasing, prompting, and pushing for positive change. See you next time.